Where?
Hello, and welcome to another Pages and Pals live show. This is a live show where a bunch of friends just get together and we read. We have a bunch of reading sprints. Well, just two of them. And each one of us is all reading different books. And we're not it's not a book club. We're not reading the same book. It's all different books. And we're just having fun together and reading some of our books. We're just going to go ahead and get started. Let everybody introduce themselves. Everybody also, their links is down below. So if you want to check out any of the people on this live show, you're more than welcome to. And also everybody will let you guys know what you're reading. I am currently reading Before She Ignites by Jody Meadows. This is the BookTube Chicks book pick of the month. Our live show is tomorrow. I'm on page 300, so I have 200 pages left, and I'm actually really enjoying this book, Chloe. I'm actually really enjoying this book. It's basically, it is a fantasy. It's about this girl who, it's about this world. There's different islands, and there were gods, and the islands were named after these fallen gods. And our girl, she was kind of like an important figure person on one of these islands who represents one of these gods. And she discovers like a conspiracy or like treason, betrayal within the government of the island that she resides. And she tries to come forth with it, try to go public with it, and they throw her in prison. And there's dragons too. And it's really, actually, I personally find it really interesting and really cool. Again, I'm only about 300 pages and I have 200 pages left to go. And Kathy, since you're beside me, you can go next.
Sure. I love any synopsis that has the line, and then there's dragons too in it. So I am currently reading Silencing the Dead, which is the second in the Scott Jericho books by Will Harker. Scott Jericho is this guy who used to be a police detective, but before that grew up as a traveler in the UK, so like in a traveling carnival type of situation. So he would use the kind of like people watching skills he gained from that to be a police officer, but then he ended up assaulting somebody who killed some kids and got kicked off the force. And I'm in the second book, so I can't really tell you much about the plot of this, besides it just continues to be bloody and gross, and also its own voices for the traveler representation as well as the queer representation, which is really cool.
You said you're on the second book. How many books are there?
It's 2 so far. This one just came out earlier this month.
Oh, okay. Chloe, if you want to go next.
So I'm going to be reading I Believe in a Thing Called Love by Maureen Gu. I think the best way to describe it is it's like if you took To All the Boys and then added like K-pop into it. That's the best way to describe it. But basically,
I love that book.
When I started it, I was like, oh my gosh, Kat and Desiree should read this because it reminds me of To All the Boys. But basically this girl who's like super involved at her school has never had a boyfriend, and she always like fails when she's around boys. So she's following this like step-by-step way to get the guy, and she got these steps from like binging K-pop drama. Korean whatever. K-dramas and her dad also is really into the K-dramas and K-pop. So it's basically like that. And I'm about halfway through it. And I have a theory about what's going to happen, but I'm not fully sure on it yet.
Are you enjoying the book?
How that goes. I think I am. I think my issue is I've been getting distracted while I've been reading it. So I haven't really even though I'm halfway through, I feel like I haven't really like deep dived into this book. So I think it's good, but I'm not like obsessed with it. And I feel like I haven't been like fully able to immerse myself because I keep getting distracted.
Okay. Desiree, if you want to go next.
Well, like you, I'm also reading Before She Ignites, so I could finish it by tomorrow. I think you're ahead of me. I'm on like page 290, but you know, there's dragons. So like,
Wait, are you liking the book?
I am liking the book. I'm liking the book a lot, actually. I almost texted you the other night when I got to this specific part to be like, but
So I'm really the only one who's the minority in this. Like, I think I gave it a 1.5.
Yeah. I was surprised, like when you first started saying that you were enjoying the book, I thought it was going to be like Reverie. Reverie was a book we read last year, and Chloe's always the first one to read it and always the first one to finish the books, and she's always the one who kind of like, I feel like, sets the tone. So I'm like, please don't let this be another Reverie. And thankfully, I'm actually really enjoying this book. So
I feel like I don't know why I started it so quickly this month. I think it was because like my work was reopening, so I was like, I got to get on it. I don't know when I'm gonna have time. Feels like forever since I read that book.
And this book doesn't have an audiobook. So personally, like when I read books, I like to have the audiobook because I feel like I immerse myself in the story more, and I feel like I grasp the story more. This book does not have an audiobook, so I have to just physically read it. And for me personally, I don't know how anybody else is, I get distracted really easily, and that's why audiobooks tend to help me focus more. So for me, I had to start reading this book a little bit earlier just to make sure that I have enough time to read it, because I know myself, I get distracted really easily. Donna, if you want to go next.
Chloe, I actually read that book like some time ago from the library, and I really enjoyed the Cape drama references. It was really fun for me, actually. I actually finished that book pretty quickly. Right now, I'm actually reading the second book. This is Tunnels of Bones, and they just came out with the third book, so I'm hoping I'll get to order the third books after I finish this, and I'm probably going to finish this during our discussion today, our sprints, because I only have maybe 40 pages left.
Oh, okay.
So, and
does that have sprayed edges?
Yes, this copy has spray edges. It's the black spray edge one. I bought it from Fox and Wits when they were doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
I love her shop.
The new one that came out, Owl Crate has it. It also has spray edges, I believe. But I don't know if I'm gonna get it from Owl Crate this time.
Okay.
But well, basically, Cassidy is a middle grade. This is a middle grade book anyway, and I believe I think the Cassie is also the main character is also middle grade of age. And she has the power to see ghosts. So she's actually, in this version, she's in Paris. So she's going to encounter some crazy ghosts. And right now she is in the middle of trying to save this boy that died a long time ago. So that's the story in this one.
Okay. All right. So we usually do, for everybody who's joining us, we usually do 2 sprints. We have a 25-minute sprint, and then we take a little bit break, and then we finish off with a 20-minute sprint. So I'll go ahead and share my screen because I do have a countdown timer, so you guys can be aware how much time you have left. And again, our first sprint will be 25 minutes, so we can go ahead and get started. Jesus.
Go.
That was very loud.
It's like a Chinese gong kind of sound.
Right.
God, that scared the crap out of me. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and take a small break before we get into our final 20-minute sprint. For those of you joining us, we are Peaches and Pals. We basically just hang out and read, and we just do 2 reading sprints, and you just read whatever book you're currently reading. It's not a book club. We're not reading all the same book or anything. And we just finished our first 25-minute sprint, and we're going to just go ahead and let everybody know how we're feeling about the book. We're going to obviously try to be spoiler-free, but I read, I think, about 20 pages in that last sprint. The book got to the point where, well, the book's been, for me personally, it's been interesting from the beginning. I kind of liked how the author has set up the world. The book goes into before and after. So there's like a few years before, basically of our main character and her doing her duties as a public figurehead for her island, and the after, where she has been thrown in prison due to the things that she knows and tried to make public. So it's very interesting going back and forth. I understand that personally, I don't always enjoy books that jump back and forth in timeline, because sometimes it's not personally, for me personally, I don't think it's done well. So it's not, sometimes I do get confused, but I have been able to follow the storyline pretty well. So I am enjoying the book, and it's getting interesting. Excuse me. And well, it's been interesting, but it's getting to the point where we're reaching, I guess, the peak of the story, and I really gonna try to finish it tonight because I really want to know what happens next. So Kathy, your turn.
So I'm about halfway through. I read a couple of chapters, but because it's an ebook, I have no idea how many pages that is. Probably not that many because I read slowly. It's really good. It's a murder mystery type of thing. So there was a big murder mystery in the last book. There'll be a big murder mystery in this one, because even though he's not technically a detective anymore, he still falls into these situations where his family's just like, you need to solve this. And he's like, yeah, I do. Especially in this one, because it kind of hits his family pretty close to home, which is interesting because the last case also had to do with his family, but like ancient family, like died 150 years family, and then that was brought into the forefront. So it's interesting that it keeps happening, or it's interesting that the cases keep having this personal connection to him. I like that. I think it's interesting.
All right, Chloe.
I read a couple of chapters, and it's still going well. I'm not completely sold on the relationship that is happening in this book. I think my theory is dead, but I'm still not completely sold on what's happening. I think that there's still going to be some sort of twist, and it's going to end differently than it's currently on track for. So we'll see. I don't actually have that much left, so I'm hoping to, if I won't finish it today, then at least finish it tomorrow.
So I'm still enjoying it. I think I'm kind of at, I feel like the climax of the story where like bad things happen, and now there's like a turn happening. So probably like you, I'll probably try to finish it tonight as well.
I read 34 pages, and I have like 10 more pages left. So far it's a solid 4-star. Like I'm not like majorly surprised, but I always like the writing style of Victoria Schwab, so I'm enjoying it. But it's not like a Shade of Magic where everything's like more interesting. Something's gonna have like more twists and turns, but it keeps me on track. That I'm enjoying it. I'm following how Cassie is going through things in Paris, figuring out how to understand the story of why this ghost died and tried to save him. So I just got to the point where she saved him, but but then her ghost friend, that's the one that's been helping her along the way, is also going through a period of time where like we're trying to understand how he died, and he just shared his story. So that I wasn't expecting, so that was a little bit interesting. But overall, it's been a solid 4-star.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead, and for those of you watching, joining this live show, we're going to go ahead and get started on our second and final sprint, which is a 20-minute sprint. And again, I'll go ahead and share my screen and just grab your book and read along with us. swear that scares me every time. Okay. All right. So in total, I read about 50 pages. That's pretty good. The book is reaching its climax. There's something that's going to happen soon, and I'm really interested to know what's going to happen, because the book is very, very interesting to me, and it feels like it's been leading up to this one thing that's going to happen soon, and I'm very, very excited. Amarius are actually already looking into buying the next book in the series. But anyway, Kathy, how's your book going?
Going really well. He's again still like just past the halfway mark, so he's very much in the way of like there's so many characters, there's so many things going on, and what connects to what. So it's fun because obviously there's things going on in his personal life, but then he's got like cops to deal with who are like, you're not really a cop anymore, but we know you're investigating, so like help us out here. And yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it.
How about you, Chloe?
So I think I read a total of 40-ish pages. Things are moving along. It definitely has more of like a To All the Boys feel now. I think I've created a new theory, but we'll see. There's honestly not that much left in the book, so I'm not sure how this is gonna go.
How about you? That's right. What chapter are you on? I want to know, like, if we're like close to each other.
I think you guys read fast because I think I only read like 30 pages, but I am. Hold on a second. I'll tell you. Chapter 22.
Okay. Okay, I'm one chapter ahead of you then.
Okay. So yeah, things are happening right now.
It's hard.
Things are happening.
Yeah, it's hard not to say it because it's like I want to talk about it, but it's also like super spoilery, and so I can't talk about it.
But I will say that, like, I mean, I don't know what like book 2 and 3 is going to be like, but even though, you know, there's been like mention of dragons and stuff, I would have liked to see more dragons overall in the story. So, but I definitely enjoy it, and I think I do want to get the second book.
Yeah. How about you, Donna? How's your book going?
I finished those 10 pages. So yeah, this book is a solid 4. I don't remember what I graded the first one as. Oh, and I'm actually doing the Owl Crate-a-thon. So I immediately picked up my second book that I was gonna read, The Kingdom of Back, the Owl Crate edition. So I was like, so yeah, this book I would say is a solid 4. I did enjoy the pace of it because I was reading through it with like pretty quickly. And I probably will get it did set up like a little pace of how the next book will be. I feel like the way it ended. So I think I'm gonna get the next book as well. And I just, like I said, I just start reading this, like the first few pages. So this one is the story of Mozart's sister. So the other side of the story, and I'm curious to see how. I like books about music, so I'm curious to see how this one's gonna plan out, because this one is more of a historical fiction compared to her usual books that are more fantasy. But I think it's like historical fiction with a mix of fantasy in it, because in the synopsis it say there is gonna be some guy that's gonna come out and offer her to give her what she wants of becoming a musician, but with a cost. So it's gonna be like fantasy-ish. So I'm curious to how that is gonna be played in. I only started literally a few pages.
Yeah, that's
Did you read it yet?
No, I haven't read it yet, but it's been staring at me ever since I got the book in my Owl Crate too. But anyway,
I just bought it recently.
Oh, really? But yeah, I'm excited because I have heard like the story. I've done very, very limited research on Mozart's sister, and it's I think it's interesting because back when they were alive, obviously women didn't have as much freedom as men. So she was, from what I've understood, she was always kind of put in the back burner, even though she was just as musically gifted as her brother. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to read this version of her story. But anyway, that is all for our Pages and Pals live show. Thank you for everybody who joined us. Again, this is a monthly live show. If you would like to participate, just either let us know you want to be in the actual live show, or just tune in whenever we have our live shows. Our next live show will be on April 17th. It will be on my channel as usual, and it will be at the same time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2 p.m. Is it Pacific time? 2 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
So hope you join us again. It'll be Saturday, April 17th, 5 p.m. Eastern time, or 2 p.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you all there. And again, everybody's links is down below. So make sure you check out all these lovely ladies because they have great content. And we hope to see you guys all on April 17th. Bye, guys.